Hello and welcome back to the Sosbans and Sidesteps podcast for the 25-26 season. Joining me, Big M, as always, the one and only, Mr. HG Rugby that is, Huw Griffin. Good evening, my friend.
Nostar Martin, good to be back again. Hooray. Um, we don't seem to be able to hang on to co-hosts, do we? We tried how many last season? It's back to you and me again.
Yes, same old story, it's hard putting up with me. I'm not gonna lie. How my wife has done it for 13 years is, it's a credit. It's worth more than a gold medal at the Olympics. I swear.
Intimidated is what they are. They come on and they think, "Ooh, this is a bit big time for me."
Yeah, they see you and they're like, oh wow, look at that! Look at all them jerseys in the background. Christ, he's a major fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll be doing Jersey talk tonight.
Can't go wrong with a bit of jersey talk. So, uh, the summer. How are you feeling?
I, I just want to watch 15 men in scarlet jerseys run around a pitch again, run around a field again. Is that too much to ask? It's just shit, isn't it? Like the whole situation that we find ourselves in as Welsh rugby fans, as regional rugby fans, is awful. It's absolutely awful. And I think we as Scarlets fans in particular, we may be a little bit guilty of complacency in the past when talks of cutting a region have been around. We've always assumed it wouldn't be us. Whereas now it seems like there is a very good chance that all four will go and will be given two new things. It's just to find yourself sitting there on various evenings throughout the summer thinking about what will I do when my team is gone. It's the worst feeling you can have as a sports fan.
There aren't any words to really put in place how this makes everyone feel. It just hits so hard, hits ridiculously deep into you, and you're left wondering. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd like to think, in a world where there's only two teams, I would have always thought it would have been Cardiff and Llanelli, no Scarlets. Like that's just the obvious ones. And I don't mean that as a disrespectful thing to Dragons and Ospreys, but if you're talking, they've got their own individual histories going back well before regionalisation. I know, obviously, Swansea and Neath in respect of the Ospreys and, Newport, Ebbw Pontypool, whatever, all the Gwent clubs, they have their own history, but it's not that one streamlined. So to come into now and to have, and I don't want to dig it out, to have basically a bunch of English people come and tell us, oh, by the way, we're scrapping everything, you need to let go of the past. We're going to move forward with this. I mean, like, I'd happily tell them to go play Russian roulette with six bullets. That's really how I feel right now.
The thing is, it's not about they're not asking us to let go of the past, are they? They're asking us to let go of now and the immediate future. Honestly, Dave Redden and Richard Collier Keywood, it's just one car crash interview after another. It's all like, oh, it's under consultation, no decision's been made, blah 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 blah. And they go, so we're going down to two then, and they go, yeah, we are, and it's going to be like this. And you go, well, okay, the decision's made then, isn't it? I got an idea that there's a kind of Malcolm Tucker style PR guy in the WRU going like every time one of them does an interview, they go, he said what? Like it's like he's just told the press that we're definitely going down to two, and one of them's going to be in Swansea. Oh my God! Like it's it's just a shambles. And look, the how many times have we been through this with the WRU where it's a mess? They have a clear out of all the people at the top. New people come in and they say we're out to be different this time. It's worse than ever at the moment.
You may as well just grab a bunch of fans, passionate fans, people who want to be there day to day, and just have them go and give it a crack. Because I probably Joe Bloggs, who stands in the terraces at any one of the grounds, has probably got a better chance of running Welsh rugby than anyone they're picking out.
Yeah,
It,
well, when the whole thing about Dave Redding's come in, he says he wants to go down to two teams, one in Cardiff, one in Swansea. And I'm like, I could go to any pub in Wales and someone would give me a plan as detailed as that. Like, it does sound like it was come up with at a bar, just going, what we're going to do then? And then they've had 3 pints, they've gone, right, we'll do this. This makes sense. And they go on about how, oh, they needed to bring in someone from England with a fresh perspective who doesn't know about it and stuff. And it's like, what's the point of all of this? What's the point of being sports fans? Who are we doing this for if not fans? And the way that they're trying to do the mental gymnastics of kind of like the survey where they go, well, you would agree that the Wales international teams aren't doing very well at the moment, no, wouldn't you? Yeah, well, see, so you agree that we need to go down to two regions? Well, no, hang on, why is it one or the other? And like I was saying to you offline, Mark, I don't believe the whole "we ain't got no money" argument. I don't believe it because they had money literally in May of this year to fund four equally. Now apparently they don't. I just don't believe them. And that document with all of the factual errors that they put out and stuff, they're just you get that it's never felt truer that the WRU only cares about people who turn up to men's international test matches in Cardiff, and they know that a very large proportion of those fans are casual fans who probably don't even watch every Wales game on TV, let alone support a region. So they're just like, so long as these keep turning up in their sparkly cowboy hats, um, it's fine. And that just means that bread and butter, week in, week out fans who spend our money, invest our time, invest our emotions into Welsh rugby every single week of the year, we are acceptable losses to the WRU. That's just how I feel.
I really don't want to dwell on this. It hurts. It hurts every part of my being, even thinking about any negative action.
Can I ask you a really difficult question? Will you do that? Say they get rid of the Scarlets, but then let's say they bring in a team called Brython Thunder Men and they wear red jerseys and they play at Parker Scarlets. Will you do the mental gymnastics to say, okay, I'll support this team?
No, no, I've already gone through this. No,
Expand.
it's a cop out. It's a massive cop out. The reason I fell in love with Llanelli, fell in love with the Scarlets, it was the style of play. And then, obviously, I'm talking like mid 90s now is when I first started getting involved with, Llanelli, watching them, of course. And then you go back and you have a look at the previous eras. You watch what matches you can get a hold of. You read through the history, and it makes you feel connected. It makes you feel a part of something. I'm not a part of something called Britain Thunder Men. I'm
But
I'm
we
a
we
part.
we support Brython Thunder Women.
That's locality. That's basically there was never anything in Welsh women. If it was a blank canvas, which let's be honest, professional or semi-professional women's rugby was, then it's a completely different market. But we're not talking about a blank canvas here. We're talking about some an incredibly established situation here with people who literally you can just, especially if you go to people who were you can talk to the generations above us and go, my grandfather told me, you have those family connections. Why you support a team is because, well, my bumpy took me, or my father took me, or my father played, or whoever played, or my uncle done this. And there's all them connections. They all linking together, and it expands massively. And this is with every single team in the country, not just the four professional ones. It's every single team, and that's why you feel that sense of love to them. I mean, you can go to anyone who's played for their local team because of family or like doing age grade, and you go, well, yeah, that's my village team. That's in the corner of their eye, they will never forget that team. You know, it's something that links us, and it's hard to put into words, as you can see me struggling really badly by here. You've it's essentially it's a family, and you're tearing apart a family and replacing it with something that's as similar as possible, but it's not the same. You don't have that same connection. It's the same in, you could say it's the same in everything but name, but it's not.
Mm. No, that's a good analogy. It's a good analogy. It's like if someone got rid of your family and brought in a bunch of people who were the same age from the same places, same genders and things, and said, "There you go, it's the same." It's not. So yeah, that's a good analogy. It's a good analogy. I don't know is my answer because like I said, I already in this extremely specific example, I already support Brit Thunder. And if they wear red and play at Parky Scarlets, then I think a part of me would trick myself into thinking, oh, it's just the Scarlets. But I think that would me be pretending that that team is the Scarlets rather than anything else. So I would be tricking myself.
Yeah.
And that's just me being extremely honest with
Yeah.
how I
Oh,
would probably do it.
but let's be honest, it would eventually become a team known as the Scarlets. It,
Well, if
it,
it
it
still
really
said
would.
if it still said Parky Scarlets on the sign, and it still had Sosbans on the top of the posts, and it still had Scarlets written in white on the seats, then you would be like, I think in that situation, a part of me would also think that eventually they would be rebranded back to the Scarlets. Um, but we're talking a really specific hypothetical there. Um, yeah, so that's kind of the one really specific scenario that I came up with. If it was something else, look, I don't know. If it was like I say, if they wear red and they play at Parky Scarlets, then a part of me will trick myself into it. Um, a situation other than that, that'll be me lost. What would you still support Wales?
I don't really support Wales now, to be honest. Like I haven't in many years. I
Why?
I lost the again. I lost the connection with them probably around 2013, I think it was. That was probably the last time I really supported Wales, as in, like, obviously, I want Wales to do good. There's always that in the back of your mind, but actually going out of my way, making like wanting to buying the jerseys, things like that, really supporting. I just felt like even obviously there's always been discontent, but it always felt that they would never really, they were always against the clubs, and I have always been club before country, and it's a case of just getting shafted after shafted. Like you said, it doesn't matter who comes into the WIA. We'll go, oh, we'll fix it now, same problems. Oh, we'll fix it now, gets worse, same problems, whatever. And so I've been at that stage for a long time now. I'm okay. Yeah, I like I was embarrassed by the losing streak, but it didn't affect me half as much as when the Scarlets take on 4 or 5 match losing streaks. It's it's a weird one. Like I only watch now to see especially to see how our boys do, and just to keep an eye on the players. I really have no bearing on the result overall.
Yeah, I do feel like the WRU takes Wales fans for granted. Like I said earlier, that they'll always just turn up. So I do find that frustrating, and I did by the end of the losing streak, I did feel numb to it. I was like, by like win number 17, how much worse was that than, sorry, loss number 17, how much worse was that than loss number 11? It was it was the same bad. So it yeah, I've thought about, do I really want to support this before anymore? You know, it's difficult because I do have a really deep emotional connection, like you referred to, Mark, with the memories of people in my family are all centered around supporting Welsh rugby. So to break free from that, part I think a part of me never could, but when it's an organization that treats people in this way. Like when they had the most recent round of scandals with the women's team, part of me was like, I'm not sure I want to be a part of this anymore. Um, so if the Scarlets were gone, if there was nothing I could even delude myself into thinking was still the Scarlets really, then why am I supporting this? You know, people say, oh well, if you're Welsh, you support Wales, and I'm like, well, I don't know. That's just a bit. That's just a bit lacking agency for me. I can't, if I don't agree with something, I can't support it.
That's fair enough, really is. Okay, so now I think a very big apology is in order. We have opened a podcast season with the most depressing of 20, 30 minutes we've ever done. And we hope that we never have to do anything as depressing as that. So, from one very, very depressing situation to a slightly less depressing situation, pre-season is come and it's gone before we've known it, and there's still a gap week to go. So started off with the nice SRC match. This time it was 40 minutes against Llandovery, 40 minutes against Quins. Obviously, last year we was just the full run out against Carmarthen Quins. Did you manage to keep an eye on that at all?
I kept half an eye on it. I'm glad you said that it was 40 minutes because I think some people didn't quite follow what actually this was. Like you said, 40 minutes against each. It wasn't full games. Obviously, we lost to Carmarthen Quins, which obviously some people, Mark's happy because he's a Carmarthen Quins fan. Some people took a lot of glee in, but could you just explain to people like what kind of teams we put out, what kind of the situation was?
So, I mean, I'll give you a rundown of the start in 15, and this was the start in 15 for Llandovery. So that was
Which we
Jack
we beat
Davis.
Llandovery, yeah.
Yeah. 26-7 we beat them in the first game. We lost 7-5 to Quins in the second. 40 minutes, I should really clarify that. So Jack Davis, Tommy Lewis, and Ellis Nee as a back three. Johan Nicholas and Gabriel McDonald in the centres. Joe Hawkins and Dane Blacker at halfback. Jared Taylor, Dan Davis, Ocean Williams back row. Jack Price, Tristan Davis at lock. Harry O'Connor, Harry Thomas, and Kemsley Matthias in the front row. So for an SRC game, that's pretty much
You
fair.
would
I
expect
mean,
that team to win the SRC.
oh, that's a tough one. On Once they've been together a while, yeah, that 15 should be enough to take care of anyone. But coming off the back of not working together, I mean, you got boys who are back and forth between clubs, switching between two styles of games, two styles of training, which is never easy. Then you've got, you know, youngsters, Ocean Williams. This is his obviously he was playing with Quins back end of last season, but this is now his first full season as a senior men's player.
Hmm.
You got Harry O'Connor, who this is his
Back
first
from
game
us
in a
missing a
year.
season from his Achilles, yeah.
It's yeah, that's what I mean. It's not just missing a year out; it's missing it from an Achilles. Samson Lee never recovered properly from an Achilles injury. We all know that, and that first game back is obviously hell. And then if we look to the bench or where they started rolling players on from, so we had two players on permit. We had Saul Hurley from Aberafan, who's a hooker, and we had Dan Gemin, who was recently with Wales under-20s, now with the Drovers. Then we had Josh Morse and Gabe Hawley. Josh Morse's first game back in what feels like forever as well. I do have to point that out. We then had Dom Kossuth, Joe Denman, Ben Williams, Archie Hughes, Ellis Price, Roddy Lewis, Callum Woolley, and Ewan Jones. So for the most part, outside of
It's a senior academy team, really.
out like Ben Williams is just out of senior academy. Everyone else in there is senior academy age. So and rolling subs. as always during these sort of friendly games. And so the team that we really had out, it's hard to say. Like, don't get me wrong, Quins can still hold their heads up high. They were, compared to an SRC squad, there was, still several full-time professionals who've been there for, a couple of seasons. So there's still that bit of confidence they should be able to take from that win.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pre-season, and when you're talking 40 minutes with, two players who've probably only trained with you for a week, especially, that kind of gauges where you're at. And in terms of those two players, so obviously, in terms of Sol Hurley, obviously, we all know the Marnus is still out with South Africa. Elias has an injury. Isaac Young still wasn't ready to play. Obviously, he's played in the week after. And then we were literally down to first year senior academy, first year men. So some of those boys aren't quite ready physically to step into this, which is something that we look at in terms of the development. You say, okay, the technical skill is up here. We need to work on their physical. So you don't throw those boys in just because you're down on numbers. You find a way around. Like Sol Hurley, he's played with Wales under 20s. He's a solid player. Fair play to him. He's working really hard to outdo Luke Davis down at Aberafan for that number 2 shirt. Listen to the SRC pod for more on that. All in all, it's preseason. Who's really bothered by a preseason? Like, we were absolutely crap again last year. I think you said our set piece and lineout last year was absolutely terrible in preseason, but we went on.
So do we want to just chat about the Dragons then? Because that's kind of leading on to that, because that was the big narrative that came out of that game. So Benji was there, R.I.P. Pringle.
R.I.P. Pringle. You can't get rid of Pringle. Oh, yeah.
We'll
see how we go. We'll see how we go. But yeah, obviously we had our man in the ground down at Rodney Parade, Mr. Benjamin. And obviously it was a loss. What was it? Was it 33-28?
Yeah, 33-28. Apparently, Archie Hughes was in on goal and got scythed down by Aaron Wainwright in a world-class tackle. No one had ever seen the like. So really, when you think about it, we won.
Yeah, we won. And obviously that was, the most illegal tackle anyone's ever seen. The ref was obviously down the other end of the pitch talking to someone. So no one saw it. No one will ever hear of it. It wasn't even recorded on any of the match cams. Would you believe it? No, obviously we're all just pissing about down the joke by it. But no, it's obviously we got a running commentary from the man himself during the game, and he was getting quite vividly angry at the set piece. I think that's the only way we can really put it.
So all the chat was about the set piece after it. So I was at Welford Road last season when we had our warm up against Leicester Tigers, and I don't think we caught a line out in that game. And our scrum got, because I remember, because it was Nicky Smith's first ever game for Leicester Tigers. And Ospreys fans on Twitter started tweeting, I see that Nicky Smith is terrorizing the Turks once again. And I was like, hang on a minute, this game isn't even broadcast anywhere. There's not even a live text for the scrums. How do they know what's going on at the scrums? So I think Ospreys fans had bought spies to Welford Road to watch the Scarlets' pre-season games. Anyway, the point is that we got hosed at scrum time. We couldn't catch a line out. We went on in the URC to have statistically, I think, the best set piece in the league. So it's pre-season. Don't worry about it. Is basically the moral of the story. I think after the Welford Road game, I think I spoke to someone at the Scarlets and they said, yeah, we tried a new line-out calling system. Didn't work. Like, okay, yeah, I can confirm it did not work. So maybe they thought, no, this year I've got a great idea, and they didn't. So
it's all fun. I mean,
I don't think Henry Thomas played in either of these games, did he?
No, Henry Thomas did not play. We had Harry O'Connor and Gabe Hawley.
Henry Thomas had an operation, or we saw
he had something done
because he declared himself unavailable for Wales because he was getting something done.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that he's had an op because it was an underlying condition. So I'm thinking maybe something like a minor tear that he could play through,
Yeah, 'cause I
or
do remember him getting treatment a lot last season. He'd go down a lot and get treatment. I thought maybe he'd done his shoulder or something.
yeah, who knows? But
If you're watching Big Hezza, let us know in the comments.
yeah, same as Archer Holtz hasn't appeared in either of these games. That's
Hmm.
something that's disappointed me, especially with Sam Wainwright buggering off down the M4 corridor. So Gabe Hawley obviously came in last year. We obviously know how good Harry O'Connor can be. The question for him is obviously whether or not you can get back there. But with Gabe, obviously, it's his second season of men's rugby now. Yes, we know I think he's 22, 23. So physically, he's got the size. It's just getting that sort of that experience into him. And whether or not he has that quite yet, it's give or take with anyone. I mean, I would be concerned about our front row if we did go in with, Harry O'Connor and Gabe Hawley at tight dead and Harry Thomas and Isaac Young as our hookers, just because of the injury aspect and the experience and age profile there. So another bit of news we had from there, Harry Thomas actually went off with an injury in that game, which doesn't signal great things either. If we thought we were staying ourselves on the bar at hooker stocks as it was, we just found out it's made it even worse. But obviously, we don't know any details on that as of yet. We will hopefully find out something
It's fine.
soon.
Harry Thomas is superhuman, as we know. It'll be fine.
He is superhuman. He's a good, yeah. He's a new doc boy, so Hill obviously knows everything about knows his mother, brother, sister, father, knows everything.
Oh, I could say something distasteful now, but I'm not going to. So right, so
Oh no, that is
no,
not
no, no, no,
okay.
not
That's
that, not
not
that,
okay.
not that. Everybody stay calm. So the so what we saying then? Look, let's be honest, Mark. Neither me nor you was at Rodney Parade, so we can't say how the boys played. Dwayne seems chilled in his post-match presser, so pre-season, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, my only bit of aggravation is that this was essentially our first preseason game, and it's also our last preseason game. I'm a big believer in getting match fitness, getting combinations sorted through game time.
So I saw an interview with Steve Diamond of all people at Newcastle, and they asked him about pre-season games because Newcastle Red Bulls, as we must now call them, Newcastle Scarlet Bulls, for the sake of this podcast, um, they didn't have any pre-season games, and they asked him, "That's not good, is it?" And he said, "Well, actually, there's a school of thought that says the risk of injuries makes it not worth it. So maybe we could kid ourselves into it not being so bad."
Yeah, yeah. There's a risk of
Because we
injury
lost Harry
every game.
O'Connor for a whole season in pre-season last season, season.
It happens. But, that could happen in the first game.
Archie Hughes got injured in a pre-season game, missed the first half of the season.
His first block, get that one right. He was back in time for the second block. But no, I understand that risk, but one, you need to test out your academy players to start. That's one that can't be avoided. I really don't think I'm avoided. And secondly, bringing in new players, there's only so much you can do in training games. You need to replicate that intensity. And okay, you're not going to get the full intensity with preseason, and maybe that's why that injury aspect is hopefully slightly less. But yeah, there's no exchange for match fitness in my eyes. You know, you could have the best player in the world, hasn't played in 3 months, come start, and you can have someone who is, maybe just a mid class or lower end international who's on a 5-6 game run of form, and it's not out of this world to say you can run rings around him. And scenarios like that do happen. Players returning from injury, you see it all the time. You need something to get you back into it. Only certain freaks of nature are able to just pop up. Sam Warburton was one of them. You could be,
He's who I was thinking.
Yeah, you could be injured between Wales camps, but as soon as a Wales camp start, oh, I'm fit again, I'll start and just be outstanding. But those sorts of players are few and far between. So yeah, match fitness all the way for me. That's my take on it. I just hope
Yeah.
that we have got some more training games planned during this next fortnight. Otherwise, you are risking going in undercooked.
Yeah, I probably agree.
Yeah, and you also got to think in terms of Newcastle Red Bulls, they've got the Prem Rugby Cup first. So that's kind of like a preseason anyway, because you don't really take that seriously.
Yeah, true.
I actually watched that game. They look pretty good. Never mind. What was next on the beautiful agenda? Oh, I might have to share the screen now. Da, 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 da. Let's have a look. Can I do it? Can I share my screen? Share screen. Windows. There it is. Click share. So you can't see it first before I start rambling on.
Yes.
A very beautiful rugby writer by the name of Charlie Morgan.
Should we just say normally neither of us would read the Telegraph, but to be fair, their rugby coverage is quite good. And Charlie Morgan, what writes for them, is probably, in my opinion, the best rugby writer in the UK.
He is good, and in case any fans are thinking, "Oh, he's a bit posh," please go to the YouTube video of this and look at the HTML that I'm searching, because no, I did
Unless
not.
Charlie Morgan is listening, in which case we paid the money.
We did pay Charlie. We did pay, but no, he's come. He spent a day with Scarlets, who are fighting for their existence. So yeah, it's a pretty good article, to be fair. I really enjoyed reading it. What was your take on it?
I really enjoyed it. I think so. It's like he spent the day with the Scarlets. He visited Josh McLeod at his house. He spoke to John Daniels. He spoke to Dwayne Peel. He spoke to the kit man. He spoke to another guy, the groundsman, someone else. I can't remember.
Yeah, Wayne James.
Um, oh yeah, because Wayne James has got the rag doll, hasn't he? That was what it was. Um, he spoke to everybody, and this is something that we're not going to speak about on this pod. If you want to hear more about this, go and listen to the pod I did with Lee back in the summer when it happened, with House of Sports and Entertainment. Can't call them luxury. House of Sports and Entertainment. This is the kind of things that they're going to be doing. Look, this is the Scarlets being spoken about in the biggest rugby publication essentially in the UK. This is the kind of exposure that I think that they will have brought. They'll bring that kind of muscle to the off the field stuff, and it talks about that investment deal in this article as well. And Charlie summarizes it really nicely in how it's going to work and stuff. So yeah, there's loads of really nice snippets in there about like the here to compete, and they wrote H2C on all of the notebooks and stuff. There is great interview with Josh McLeod where he's really honest about his future and stuff. So yeah, it's just a great article. I don't know, mate. What's jumped out to you about it?
What's jumped out to me is that Josh lives in Bagfastfellen. That's literally a stone's throw from Ponteberem. I'm wondering if his kid's going to go to Bagfastfellen or Ponteberem Primary. That's where my mind is
So we've got a
going.
Scarlets player who doesn't live in Pontcanna.
There's only it's only the ones that we sign, or the ones who think they think they're chocolate. They're the ones that end up down there. You know what I mean? But no, it is good to hear that he's still fairly local. Obviously, different county from where he represented. He's Crymych. He's came through.
I love this
Obviously,
story from Wayne James where
yeah.
he says, "How did you get involved in the Scarlets?" He says, "Well, it was back in the 1999 World Cup.
Builder I would see.
Builder I was see, and I says to the chairman, I says, you got to do something about those turnstiles." And he says, "For God's sake, I'll do it." And he's been fast forward
What is it, 25, 26
25,
years?
25, 26 years. He's the groundsman or whatever he is.
Kit man. Oh,
It man.
his room, like I was in there when we were putting flags out for the Glasgow semi-final a couple of years ago. I was actually chatting to him for a fair while, to be fair. And like literally the first thing I probably said on the pod at the time, the only thing I could notice when I walked into that room was the size of Johnny McNichol's boots. They were absolutely huge. Now, fair play, that kit room, you could do everything you want in there.
Great little details in this, like they've still got a mug with KO on it for Ken Owens.
Yeah. There are all these little tiny details, and like I said, this is people, this is family. You know, it is
I
it
forgot
is
that
these
Josh
things
was chairman of the Welsh Rugby Players Association, by the way.
So did I. I had what's his name, Hewitt, in my
Ashton
mind
Hewitt,
as
yeah.
obviously something that's changed. I'm assuming. Obviously, it's changed, but
I don't like that Sammy's been had to go to a bloody board meeting to tell the WRU to stuff it. Like the kid hasn't got enough going on.
yeah, I know, and but take Joe Hawkins as well. Oh, I'll be honest, Joe is probably prime candidate to go to one of these meetings and basically say, look, you've messed up by here in the past, because let's be honest, that was his
I
situation.
would very much like to interview Joe Hawkins, so I won't say anything mean to him, but he did this kind of quick fire questions thing when he signed, reading off bits of paper. It was not the most thrilling thing I've ever watched.
Well, that actually reminds us we need to have a look at our quickfire questions for if we
Yeah,
have
we need new ones this season.
yeah, if we ever speak to another Scarlets player. Joe Hawkins is on that list now.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean,
Yeah, Joe, if you want to get better at being interviewed, you need to come on this podcast.
wow, that's where we are. Practice for the big interviews. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Oh, obviously, I know we've skipped ahead a little bit, but the letter that Josh has framed in his house from Phil Bennett, is that you can't get that in a new team. You don't get those sort of, like, obviously, God rest his soul, he's gone now, but you don't get people like that involved.
Mm.
And obviously there's the interview with Brad Moore a few months back when he first encountered Phil. You have these people, and they mean everything, absolutely everything to clubs. This is what this article has really pointed out, and like when I first read it, it brought up all his emotions. I'm literally flicking through it now, so hopefully I haven't gone too far, so people can read it if they haven't already. And
It's a great mix of snippets on like the technical side, like when Dwayne says that they format some of the analysis as Instagram reels because the younger boys are more used to consuming information that way.
yeah,
But then you also get people talking about their connection and their history with the club, and you get that kind of human connection. And then it finishes off with John Daniels talking about like, and this is something that we've spoken about, Mar, as well, is how much money does a Welsh region actually need? And sorry to double back, but I another thing that I push against is this whole narrative that all four Welsh regions need to be in the knockout stages of the Champions Cup every season. I don't understand where that's come from, but because no other country has that. But it's genuinely like in-depth stuff. It's a really long article. I was surprised how long it is, but yeah, I think fair play to Antonia and everyone at the PR side of the Scarlets making that happen. Um, I really enjoyed it, and I think any Scarlets fan would enjoy reading it as well.
yeah, it is brilliant. I'll be honest, I think neutrals would enjoy reading that, especially the ones of our age and older who still taking information this way. Sometimes, but
Yeah, if you can read, you'll enjoy it.
that's harsh. But no, like you were saying, how 'cause obviously Peeler's mentioned it before, how he has to treat these boys differently. I think there is a quote in there that he could give his son 3 hours worth of like 20-30 second reels of rugby, and he could watch it all, but he couldn't watch a full game. It is. Obviously, I see it in my kids how they consume information. It is literally not even a minute sometimes. They get 3 seconds. If they're not engrossed, gone out the window. It's it's really scary where these next generations are going and how they're gonna learn the full time, especially front rows. Christ, imagine learning to scrummage when you got to decide within 3 seconds if you think that information is going to be up for or not. I mean, I read I've read a French dissertation on the bloody scrum machine that the bloody French rugby union have, and
Have you?
God is good. Yeah, there's somebody, I can't remember where it is. I can probably dig it out if I look for it, but it is absolutely huge. They've got this stupidly expensive scrum machine. I think it's at French headquarters. I can't remember what team it was. I think it was Racing Metro that went to use it, and they analyzed every single part of it. And this guy did a full dissertation on it, and it was really really interesting to see where the power comes from, to see how players, where that strength comes from, how long they hold it. It's all little key bits of information that all a lot more analytical, technical aspects of it.
Did I send you that clip of Dan Human's farm in South Africa? The
I'm
Springbok
not.
scrum coach,
I think you did. If it's the one I'm thinking of, then yeah.
where he's in like a shed with like chains and leather
Yes,
straps hanging off
yes,
him.
I like that. I,
It was
I,
great.
I'll be honest. It's been many a year since I've worked in the gym, but when I was training with rugby, chain work is awesome. It really is. You can use it for absolutely anything. I do like that. I like that rattling, like the feel of it when you strap it around your waist and things as well. Especially if you're trying to do more, pull ups, dips, and things like I just have when it's a different feel. It's a good mental thing to work at.
Yeah, we've gotten sidetracked.
We have gone sidetracked, a very very sidetracked. So I think
Wait,
after
if you're
after
enjoying the show so far, please remember to like and subscribe.
that was loud. We need to put in a
I want
warning
people
for
to pay
that.
attention to that bit. They can ignore the whole rest of the podcast. That's the important bit. We're nearly at 2,000 subscribers on the Rap channel.
2000. Wow.
2,000.
2000, and that's only Scarlets. Yes. I'm going to believe that till the day I die. Okay, so that's the promo done. Bit of kit review now. Does he
All
have
right, I'm going to
everything?
share the screen now. Oh, wait. What order shall I do this in? Yeah, I'll share the
I,
screen first. Um, this is obviously my favorite bit because I'm a kit connoisseur, self-proclaimed. Um, so Scarlet's new kit, new supplier, VX3, no more Castor. Um,
woohoo!
and
That
it's
was
the
really high pitch.
new kit. I have sussed the shorts conundrum, the investigative journalist that I am. I put a tweet out there saying, "Boys, what's going on with the shorts?" And they told me. So it's white shorts this season, and then can I shock you, Mark? The jersey's red, and then there's a blue and white stripe on it. For the viewers who may not know, would you like to explain why navy blue and white is actually scarlet when you think about it?
Well, if
Look
I
at this
remember
beautiful
correctly,
boy. Look at him.
it's Ellis, if you're an audio listener. If I'm not mistaken, it goes back to one of our very, very first season and first kits that we played in Navy. You know, long before we played in red. I think it was a good few years, not too many, but a good few years before we finally changed over to red. But those colors have been etched into us since day dot, and everything is a play on our history. Like, oh, I can't remember what kit it is, but it's very similar to a previous one. Do you know the one I'm referring to?
2003, 2004.
The league winning one, yes.
Yes, which I own. Oh, I thought right. Okay, so my jersey collection has considerably enlarged over the summer. I may or may not have a problem at this point. I've got that jersey. It is. maybe my favorite jersey. If I could design a perfect jersey, it would come out looking like the first ever Scarlets regional jersey. It's absolutely stunning. It's absolutely stunning, and the material is beautiful.
And it says Llanelli on it, which is always a nice touch.
It doesn't actually.
Doesn't it?
No,
I thought it had Llanelli Scarlets under
no,
the.
no. It's just Scarlets.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. About my memory. I do have a kit from that season, and it was actually gifted to me back at the time by someone who didn't know me very well. Obviously, I was still living in. Well, I was a young boy then, starting to come into my teen years. But I was living in the Rhondda, and someone decided to give me a Celtic Warriors shirt, which it hasn't lasted the test of time. For truth be told, I don't even know where it is right now. It was the away one, I know that much. I had the Buy As You View sponsor. Obviously, a trait of anyone who's been involved with Pontypridd and Sardis Road will remember Buy As You View. But yeah, that's an interest. I have it. Okay. I'm gonna say I may have. I've owned in the past the Celtic Warriors shirt. But no,
So,
that's brilliant. Fair play.
so yeah, I've got a lot of Scarlets jerseys, as I should show the YouTube viewers now.
One,
The
2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm now on to I now own 9 Scarlets jerseys, which to be fair, I posted how many I own on socials, and someone came back to me and said they own 30 Scarlets jerseys. And fair play, it's conceivable. That I don't dispute it.
I mean, between me and my boy, yeah, but again, I'd have to go into storage to find them all. Like my boy's got about 12 in his room right now because he doesn't grow very much. He's like he can like size like I think it's like youth medium up to youth extra large. They all still fit him. So we've got a good few years worth of jerseys and there's actually a lot of the leisure kit as well. If we're including leisure kit, then the number goes out
Yeah,
the
I'm including
window.
leisure kit. Although to be fair, leisure kit wise, I've got 2 polos.
Are we including like shorts and hoodies of the like the matching set? Because I've always got him like matching sets.
I don't think you could. I think if you've got like a shirt and shorts, that's not 2.
Okay, so no shorts, but
No shorts.
shirt and hoodie.
Yeah,
That's
hoodie
acceptable.
counts. Yeah.
Okay, or zip 3/4 or
Yeah.
whatever one it was. Here we go. Okay, we're still on good numbers. Still on
Anyway,
good numbers.
due to us being such a big deal, I got sent a this season's U Scarlets jersey, and here it is.
Woohoo! Just
Can't see
shows
you
what you
anymore because
can.
I've had to lift it up.
This literally shows you what you can do if you get the right person's phone number and you just
Yeah, if
nag
you've
the
got all
hell
the
out
right
of them.
people on WhatsApp, it's amazing what you can achieve. Um, what would you like to know about it, Mark?
Uh, let's run through all of it. So cost at the minute we know is £60. Am I?
£60. Now, everyone's on a different budget. We always acknowledge this when we talk about money. What I can tell you is that £60 for a replica rugby jersey in 2025 is pretty much as low as you're going to pay. Pretty much as low as you're going to pay for a brand new replica jersey.
Yeah, there are. I think there's like maybe one or two out there that's like 55, but you know, 60 is generally minimum for like 90+% of clubs.
Ask me how much a Toulouse replica jersey is.
How much a Toulouse replica jersey is?
€150.
Shit.
It's expensive.
What's that like £135? Like Jesus.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Gee.
Tell you what you wouldn't believe. MLR jerseys, unbelievably expensive. Unbelievably expensive. Anyway, back to this. That's the price. What else would you like to know?
Fit? What's the fit like?
I would describe the fit as generous. So I'm a
Generous.
medium. I would say compared to a Macron or a Nike or an Adidas, I would say this is more on the generous side. You've got a guess.
I've got a guest. That's the entrance to my boys' room.
Okay.
The one with all the kits, which he stopped playing at under nines. He didn't like tackling. He's great with ball. He's a handy scrum half. He can shift that ball out. Fair play to him.
Should we cut
But
this bit out or should we leave it in?
it's fine. We're having a bit of fun in it.
Anyway, Okay, so the fit I would say is generous. I would say a lot of people were worried before with particularly when we were with Macron that they would be too small. I would say you can buy your size confidently with VX3.
Awesome.
What else would you like to know?
So it's a sublimated shirt. Is it fully sublimated? There's no embroidery of any type on there.
There is embroidery on it.
Ooh.
The Scar Now you'll notice that it's just got Scarlet's logo. No, it doesn't say Scarlet's underneath, which is new. The Scarlet's logo is stitched, and the
Oh,
VX3 logo is stitched. Very nice it is too.
I do like I
And
do
I
like
would
that.
say that a lot of the sponsors' logos are printed on rather than being stickers. On Castor stuff, it
Heat
was
press.
stickers. This is not stickers, this is printed on. So you don't need to worry about stuff coming off in the wash.
That is that is good to hear. I mean, I'm obviously like the retro jerseys that we pulled out last year. I like having just that two bit of embroider, but long gone are the days where we could ever afford that. So to be at a point where the full shirt is sublimated and the badge at least is embroidered, I think that's a massive win.
Hmm.
Like really massive. Like I've worked in companies that do well, for a company that do embroidering, and it is not an easy job, and it is so easy to mess up. I mean, it's ridiculously easy.
The other thing I'll say about this is if you held this new one in one hand and you held last year's Castor one in the other hand, you would feel like the Castor one's going to blow away in the wind.
A bit of weight to it.
It's got a bit of weight to it, which I
So good,
appreciate.
so good material as well. Then
Yeah, we as humans are coded to think that weight means quality. It's not the heaviest. I've got a Cougar one from a few years ago that's like people run around in this. Um,
I like the feel of those ones. I like having a bit of weight on my
I've
shoulders.
got a Cougar one that's like it's not just a bit of heft. It's heavy. It's actively heavy.
I got a Rhino one. That's probably my favorite one to
Oh,
wear for the
Rhino.
feel. It was the same year as that just full green one, but it was the home kit, the
I got
red.
the 2007 one behind me. That's heavy. I put that on before.
I've
So
I've got the hoodie of that one, and it is a weight and a half. Like it don't fit me no more because I've ballooned a little bit since then. We are talking 18
the
years.
hoodie's looking at you going, "Who are you calling heavy?"
You dick, man. But yeah, no, we've had some obviously we've had some tough times with suppliers, but we've had some good jerseys and some good merch over the years, and it seems that we're in the running for some good times again. Like if we talk about the leisure range, I think it's the navy leisure range that looks really nice. I I think when it comes down to a couple of months time and getting my boy another set because he doesn't he's not a big fan of the actual replica jerseys anymore. He doesn't like the tightness of the collar around his neck. So I think it's going to be just the full navy set for him,
Hmm.
and I'll probably follow suit. And I don't know where to go. Like I've just managed to let the missus to get the missus to let me buy myself a Quinn's shirt. Just one of the little just a styled one with the badge. No, that weren't too bad. That was only 28 quid. That was fine. Obviously, but it's like the normal club shops where you've got to order it before a certain time, and then it gets sent out like a month later. So like I ordered it in the middle of August, and I'm still waiting for it. So I'm excited for that one. But yeah, we've
Yeah.
got a great bunch of stuff, and what's great about the shop now is we've got all the small items back. We've got the
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 key
few
rings.
the key rings. Like I got my kids. Well, I got a few more car stickers. I've had a new car. Well, I've replaced the car since the last time I had a sticker. So he's been looking very lonely. So I've got the sticker yet to put it on. I do have to say that. Same as my girls, they absolutely love their Crocs. So their Crocs now have Sosbans and Corkin and a Scarlets emblem on them. So representing. Yeah, I absolutely love what the shop is looking
See,
like at the
this is what
minute.
the WRU wants to kill.
Exactly. I mean, look how happy we are just talking about this crap. It's unreal. Absolutely unreal. Any final words on this beautiful, beautiful kit?
Um, Oh, fair play to VX3 on the promotional material as well. Your videographers and photographers and stuff know what they're doing. Great stuff.
Well, let's be honest, they're a West Walian company from the origins, so they got to know what they're doing.
Yeah. What are we on
So
now?
that brings us to the best part of the show.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it is the best part because, and bear with me because I'm toying with a slightly different format here.
Oh
So,
Jesus.
so if it's absolutely shocking, please tell me and I will revert.
The
So,
only thing worse than staying the same is change, Mark. You know that.
so I'm trying it a bit like this. Can you see it?
Yes.
Does it look terrible?
No.
No. Okay. So we will start where we always start at the beginning with Super Rugby Cymru SRC first week back. And this past Friday, Llandyfri travelled to Newport, the reigning SRC Cup champions against the reigning SRC League champions. It also helps that Llandyfri were the last league winners before Newport, so there was many different ways you could interpret this
It
one.
was a big game, basically.
It was a huge game, live on S4 linear channel, so you could actually get it on your TV if you didn't have a smart TV or YouTube or any crap like that. So absolutely brilliant, and it's a really good game. Fair play to it. And Newport, they came up to the blocks firing, and these two teams, they have been for the last year. They're the two teams that are all rounders. They they can compete in the pack, and they've got the pace and they've got the expertise out wide to really punish teams, and that's what we saw.
I watched Newport a couple of times last season. I thought they were very good.
They like even when they're not in that top two position, these two teams are top two in this league just because they can compete with absolutely everyone. Where you talk of the other top four teams, you talk of Cardiff, they are literally their backs are absolutely die for. Pack still good, but not as much. And then Ebu Vale, the reverse of that. Their pack is absolutely outstanding, but their backs, not so much. I mean, they had something like 40 tries between their two hookers and penalty tries, last season. So that tells you just how dominant their pack actually is.
Mhm.
So this game was a really well. It was 20-27. They finished in favour of Llandyfri in the end. They took the lead in the second half, and the player they picked out before the game was Dom Cossey with his first start for Llandyfri. He played a couple of games off the bench last season. This is his first full year as a senior, so he's a fresh face, 18-year-old. If he's 19, he's turned in literally the last 15 days. Because I don't have his date of birth to hand, and he had a good game. He done what he needed. Fair play to the boy. He's going to bide his time, and he's going to knock someone to hell about because he's not little by any means. And then the one that's getting the rave reviews is Josh Morse. Now,
So I seen, was it Llandovery or S4C put up a highlights package just for him?
yeah, it would be an SLC highlights. It would have been of that game, and it was one movement that was he literally one massive carry. He took out about four Newport defenders. This beautiful little offload to keep the ball moving, and then I think it was like 2-3 phases later, he literally just crashes over to get the try. And this boy, he's a scrummager, and if you've watched the scrums during this game, okay, ref interpretation is always up for debate or whatever. But if you're watching the scrums, and it's not usual for a loose head to be locking down your scrum, that's normally a tight head's job. But you can see when Newport were getting the edge, Josh, he holds his ground. He doesn't know what he is holding that scrum at bay on his own. So incredible work for him, and he's known as a scrummager. That's his big plus point. Not so much in the carrying department. So to see him do this is obviously something he's been working on while he's been off injured, and long may it continue. Other players we got involved. We had tight head Jack Pritchard, uh, debut for him, but obviously SRC debut for him, and Dylan Alford, who's a lock, who's come down from RGC.
Mm.
I mean, First time I've actually seen him physically play. Very slender. Obviously, he was on the bench, so didn't get to see a lot of him. So I'm very interested to see how he unfolds. I'm hoping to get a lot more coverage of his game time now he's at Llandovery. So that will be something interesting to see how he develops. Because him alongside Will Evans and there's a younger one, Kai Jones at Llandovery, in that lock department. We got a lot of good boys there. So it is going to be interesting to see
Not
how
to
they
hurry you,
go.
Mark, but I've had a battery warning on my camera.
Ah, damn. Okay, so next game, Carmarthen Quins, they travelled to the Brewery Field, Bridgend. They had quite a few Scarlets in with them. Ben Williams, Ellis Price, Thomas Williams, Callum Woolley, and then they had Sock and Rodri Lewis on the bench. Usual rough tussle game, very forward orientated for a lot of it. And Carmarthen Quins were leading 24-20 going into the dying moments of the game, the dying minutes. And Bridgend just got over the line, and it hurts. It hurts to lose in that way, but they picked up a bonus point, and if you're losing, you've got to pick up bonus points. That's something we learned in this league last year. If you want to get to anywhere near that top six,
I
you
bloody
got to pick
love
up bonus
club
points.
rugby, Mark.
I do love it. It's awesome. Okay, so fixtures for this week. Carmarthen Quins get a chance to show this talents worldwide on S4C. I believe that's just on the YouTube and S4C Click. They travel to Cardiff, so that's going to be a big task. Thursday at 7:30, and then to the Saturday 2:30 kickoff. Llandovery hosting Swansea, and last time these two faced, Swansea put one of their best performances of the season and really beat the Drovers. Obviously at St Helens towards the latter end of last year. So some there's a bit of a payback due there, so it'd be nice to see how that turns out. Okay, we go into the Premiership, and Llangennech went down 33-12 away to Bargoed. Llanelli Wanderers 26-45 losers at home to Merthyr.
They're not used to losing, the ones.
Well, no, they're up with the biggest boys they can get with now, and Merthyr, reigning champions. There is no bigger, so let's be honest. They've got to try bonus point out of there, so I'd say that's bloody good work for a team newly promoted.
Fair play.
Narberth seem to have found a little bit this year now. 35-12 down at Sardis away to Pontypridd. It's a respectable loss compared to where they were last season. Fixtures for this week: Llangennech get to host Pontypridd, Narberth hosting Cross Keys, and Llanelli Wanderers travel to Ystrad Rhondda. Championship West: Crymych 17-38 losers at home to Bonamine. Ammanford winning 29-27 away at Dunvan. Newcastle Emlyn. Come on, boys. 27-22 winners at home to
Yes.
Gowerton. Yes, I'm in a group chat for that now, so I get the results as and when they happen. I'm really happy with that. Aberystwyth 40 points to 33 winners away to Trabanos. They doing pretty well in this league, to be fair. I know we're only 2 weeks in, but that's besides the point. Fixtures this week: we've got Aberystwyth at home to Dunvan, Ammanford hosting Crymych, Newcastle Emlyn travelling to Tondy. That'll be an interesting one because Tondy were right up there last season to see if Newcastle Emlyn have a chance of bouncing straight back. Down into One West and a nice local derby to kick it off. Buddyport 29, Kidwelly 15. Oh, that's going to hurt down there for a little while. There'll be one in that reverse fixture to come around faster than you know where. Lamberton winning 15-10 away to St Clair's. Swansea Uplands going 16-17 down to an Allied. I can never say that place right. It's always the same. Apologies. Tenby 40 points to 10 winners against Larne. And Vellenvoyle winning 22-17 away to Hendy. So fixtures this week: Vellenvoyle at home to Swansea Uplands, Kidwelly at home to Hendy, Buddyport travel to Lamberton, Larne hosting St Clair's, and Tenby travel to the team that must not be named in just over in Swansea. One something, I don't know. Division 2 West, I've just realised I'm missing a team in here. I'm really sorry. Bryn I will find you and I will bring you back, I promise. Division 2 West, Beto 17-43 losers at home against the Croix. Aberdeen winning 31-15 away to Fishguard. Lacha 78-20 winners over Pencloud. And Pontedilla winning 26-10. That's not the biggest result of the day, I got to tell you that. 26-10 winners over
Pringle will be happy
Nantla.
about Pontedillas.
He will be happy. We know he wasn't there because he was down at Rodney Parade. But fixtures for 2 West is coming Aberaeron at home to Lacha, Nancaredig hosting Carmarthen Athletic, Pencloud hosting Pontedilais, Fishguard travelling to Christ, and Betos travelling to Whitland. 3 West, not many games by year. Really not. That's weird. So New Dock Stars, Huw's New Dock Stars, 34-13 winners
Get in,
at
boys.
home to Narberth Athletic.
Will this
It
be our
does
third consecutive promotion on the cards?
second, but it does need to be said Narberth Athletic were promoted alongside you, so they're not in. They are a new team, but they're from. What was it? They're from 4 West A. You were from 4 West
Time
B.
wasters,
So,
basically, is what you're saying.
oh, harsh. Apparently, it's Milforth Haven, not Milford Haven. I need to correct that. Winning 26-13 away to Neyland. Fixtures for this week, we've got Am United at home to Tumble, Halford West at home to Llandilo, New Dock Stars travelling to Milford Haven, Narberth Athletic hosting Neyland, Trimsaran hosting Cardigan. There's a big one coming by year 4 West A. So we got Tenby Athletic, 50 points to 10 winners away to Langham. We got Llanybydr 3, Ponteberem 104.
Dear,
Just
oh
wow.
dear.
I mean, what do you do in this situation? This is the bottom league. You can't drop down any further. Let's hope. Llanybydr were playing with like 12 men for like 75 minutes or something. And obviously that would be a bad one. Pembroke winning that all important Pembroke derby, 27-17 winners at home against Pembroke Dock Harlequins. And then Newcastle M and Huw were meant to be playing Clinic Tairu, but they didn't have enough players. Problems of a second team. Let's hope it was somebody's wedding because we don't want to see games postponed.
Didn't they have one last year where the first team couldn't get enough players, but the second team played?
Yeah, I do know what you're referring to. I can't quite put my finger on who it was, but yeah, it was funny.
Hmm.
It was always because you can't transfer. It's because of the WIU rules. You can't permit more than 4 players from your
To
second
yourself.
team to first. It's stupid, absolutely stupid. Fixtures for this week in 4 West A, we've got Pembroke Dock Harlequins at home with Llanybydr, Newcastle M and Huw going to Ponteberem. That could be something. That could be another big score. You never know. St David's at home to Langham and Tenby Athletic travelling to Pembroke. Last league, I promise, for men's. 4 West B, we've got Kevin Nathan 33-12 winners at home to Pantavannan, Fall Bay 21-38 losers at home to Binya, Pennybank winning 28-15 at home against Llandibby, Furness winning 38-17 away to Pontiates, and Llangadog winning 19-0 away to Tregaron. This week's fixtures, we got Binya hosting Kevin Nathan, Pennybank travelling to Furness, Fall Bay heading to Llandibby, Llangadog hosting Pontiates, and Pantavannan hosting Tregaron. So there has been some under 18s championship going on. The first block is finished. We drew with RGC 33 all, and we lost the other 3 games. So not looking too great as it stands. The second block will be in the new year, so we will cover that live. Doer Shield fixtures are ongoing. If you're looking on the screen, you can see all the results on the left hand side. So they split it this year. Instead of going regional, we're now going east and west. So in the Bowl West, we've only got Pembrokeshire, and they're currently 1-1. They lost by 2 points away to Swansea Valley, but beat Merthyr away from home 11-6. Then we've got all the others. We've got Carmarthen, Ceredigion, and Llanelli, and Mynydd Mawr, all in the Shield West. Mynydd Mawr and Llanelli are both 2 from 2.
Good results.
Carmarthen are 1-1, and Ceredigion have the 1 victory with no losses as it stands. It's a 7-team league, that Shield West is, so explains why Ceredigion have only got the 1 fixture. So that is it. That is everything. I've stopped sharing the screen, and
I've missed that bit.
we are
That's
done for
proper
the week.
Sosbans and Sidesteps, that is.
It is. That goes back to the very, very first episode when it was Wester at his bestra. Then it was Scarlets Fever. And now we're in our 4th season and we've kept the 3rd. We change it. Is stay in Sosbans and Sidesteps because we like it. And so long as the WIU don't mess things up, it will stay this way till the end of time or the end of podcasting, whichever comes first.
I think the end of time will come before the end of podcasting, to be honest.
Wow. You think 5 billion years of podcasting, that's going to be well, 5 billion plus. We don't know what's going to happen.
I think I've already done 5 billion years of podcasting this season, to be honest.
That's because you do about 50 of them every single day. I mean, we got to give credit to Mr. HG Rugby here. Please go subscribe to his channel because he deserves it. He is on every podcast under the sun. He hasn't had a day off over the summer. He has been covering every shred of rugby possible. Men's, women's, Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. He's gone more than me. He's going to start coming into my
I'm working on the hitherto unknown third hemisphere.
rugby. So in the third hemisphere, wow. No, you're going to be doing Arctic rugby before long. I can see it now.
All right, cool.
Okay, that wraps us up. That's the first week back. A little bit longer than we anticipated. Next week, we finally get to talk about some real rugby. That is 15 Scarlets men about to run around on a pitch. That's going to be awesome. We're going to love it. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Do everything under the sun to help us. Leave a comment.
Hype the video. When you're underneath, you'll see a thing that says hype. Don't know what it is, but press it.
Hype. Hype. Well, I don't know what I mean. It's not supporting a brand called Hype, is it?
No, it's a YouTube thing. It's very important, apparently.
Okay, we need to be hyped. Okay, I now have to go on YouTube every week and hype this video. And definitely not hype Cardiff Central or any of the others. Okay, thank you all for listening. Thank you, Huw, for being with me. And that is it for this week. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.